A tech giant just sent an ominous signal to Donald Trump, so buckle up. A slap fight is coming. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. Prepare for some legal wrangling here. In case you missed it, earlier this year, Donald Trump took aim at a handful of major law firms in the country who had previously represented causes or persons that pushed back against his authority. Take a look.
The law firm of Jenner and Block is one of these law firms. This is a law firm that, as you know, employed Andrew Weissman after he came off of the Mueller investigation. It's a law firm that's engaged in invidious racially and sexually discriminatory practices. It's also a law firm that has participated in the weaponization of the legal system against American principles and values. And we believe that the measures in this executive order will help correct that.
And Andrew Weissman is the main culprit?
He's certainly...
With respect to this firm?
He is one of a number of reasons that we believe this executive order is warranted.
He's a bad guy.
Confused at all? That's only understandable. Before we get to Microsoft's new sneak attack, have a look at this breakdown.
The president has attacked those in the legal community who, in his opinion, engage in, quote, frivolous, unreasonable, and vexatious litigation against the United States. In an executive memo issued late Friday night, for example, President Trump authorized the Justice and Homeland Security Departments to seek sanctions against any law firms or lawyers performing abuses of the legal system. He's also targeted several high-profile firms over the last few weeks. 3 of them, each with hundreds of employees, have ties with people who have worked on cases against President Trump, represent high-profile Democrats, or employ former Democratic White House officials. Perkins Coie LLP, for example, represents former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and billionaire Democratic donor George Soros. In Trump's executive orders, he demands that security clearances be suspended for all 3 of these firms and that their federal contracts be suspended. For Perkins Coie LLP and another firm, Paul Weiss, their employees also faced severe restrictions on entering government buildings. The responses from law firms targeted by Trump have ranged from striking a deal to fighting their own battle in court. Perkins Coie LLP sued over the executive order issued against them, and a federal judge partially blocked the order from going into effect. Trump rescinded the executive order issued against Paul Weiss after the firm agreed to look at its hiring practices and commit $40 million in pro bono legal services to support specific White House initiatives.
Did you get all that? Look, in short, it works out like this. Trump is using the levers of government to hamper and harass law firms that represent the people he perceives as enemies, or law firms that have challenged his administration in court. The real objective here is subjugation. At least 4 firms targeted by Trump have reached settlements with the White House. Those include offering hundreds of hours of free legal services to Trump personally and to his administration. Given the amount of lawsuits already sparked against him and his administration, that's a lucrative deal. Of the more than a dozen law firms targeted by Trump, so far, only 4 have decided to fight back. In the good news department, they've already won some legal victories in court against Trump's harassment. And now, Microsoft is joining the fray. Given the company's own checkered history with the government, remember that video of Bill Gates close to tears during a legal deposition? Look it up if you haven't seen it. It's kind of amazing. Look, the bottom line here is this. Microsoft has taken a specific stealth move that also sends a signal to the rest of the world. Check this out. The New York Times reports, and MSNBC has been able to confirm, that Microsoft has dropped a law firm, Simpson, Thacher, and Bartlett, that reached a settlement with Trump, evidently over precisely that issue. Instead, the company has hired the firm Jenner and Block, which is one of the 4 firms fighting back against Trump's offensive. That may seem tame given the usual hysteria surrounding the Trump administration, but keep in mind, this is a deal worth tens of millions of dollars, possibly more. It also sends a powerful signal to both the legal and business world. Microsoft is leading by example, telling the business community that it has subtle ways to push back against Trump's authoritarian gambit. CBS, ABC, Paramount, all of you should take notice since you too have had to settle with Trump or are faced with that possibility. Microsoft's move also sends an even bigger signal to the legal world. This isn't about praising Jenner and Block. It's about sending a message to law firms that have or are trying to settle with the administration that it's not too late to do the right thing and push back against his vile actions. And Given the size of Microsoft, it is a sign that those law firms stand to lose out on considerable money if they capitulate. Trump has been in office just over 100 days, and for all his radical moves in that time, for all the despair over the crippling of American democracy, the true spirit of freedom in this country is far from dead. Yes, America still has huge problems. We always have. But given how hard and fast the tide is turning against Trump, especially in circles sympathetic to him, like the business world, he should be very nervous. Presidents can be removed and humiliated. Trump has survived 2 impeachments. As the old saying goes, the third time is usually a charm. This is Occupy Democrats.